All right, this is going to be Real Talk episode 54. For those of you who aren't familiar with the format, basically, I have a title. I can talk about that title or go off in a different direction. That's why I call it Real Talk, because the videos that aren't Real Talk, I'll basically stick to that subject. But in the Real Talks, I can either just stick to it or go off in another direction. It's kind of like a mini stream without anybody actually watching. It's weird. But anyways, speaking of streaming, I will be going live tonight between 9 and 9:30 Eastern time. So look out for that. I'm not sure how long I'll stream for, but I did tell you guys I was planning on streaming again. And this whole situation has really lit my fire. Like, I haven't been this motivated to make videos since I started, basically. What initially motivated me to make videos was what happened with the C-19, COVID-19, whatever. That showed me how fucked up the world was. I mean, I already knew, but I was like, wow, people are really far gone and they don't see what's happening. So I started making videos about that and everything else going on in the world. I wanted people to see the truth, the real truth. And then I kind of had some issues with YouTube that kind of made me fall back, and I was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this just because YouTube is so censorious and all these other issues that I was having with social media. But after what happened with Charlie Kirk, I kind of just said, fuck all of that. I'm going to make videos and keep talking about all the things that I've been talking about and even things that I haven't talked about before, because people need to know the real truth. And another thing that's motivating me right now, besides what happened with Charlie Kirk, is the amount of ignorance that exists on social media, on regular legacy media, in politics, everywhere. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like I'm the only motherfucker that knows anything. That's how I feel. You can call it arrogance. You can call it cocky. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. You call me an asshole. I really think everyone's really stupid. I'm sorry. And I know I shouldn't be starting off like this, but I want to tell you guys the real truth. That's why I'm doing this, because no one seems to know what's happening. So let me get into the video before I go off on a tangent. The left, right? I'm not political. I've never really been political. Although a lot of my ideas and just my morals and the way I am as a person align much more with the right. There are some things on the right that I don't align with, like, religion maybe. Very few things, to be honest. But as far as morals are concerned and ways of being and ways of doing things and carrying myself, for the most part, I do align with the right. The problem I have with politics is that it's all fake. You don't need politics to be a good moral person. And politics serves to divide people instead of bring them together. Look what's happening now. The proof is in the pudding. Why would I want to be part of something that is so divisive? But here's the issue now that I'm facing. And I'm a realist, right? And I'm seeing the reality of the situation. There are clearly two sides. Everything's been polarized to the point that you can't ignore it anymore, and you have to take a side. There's no more middle ground. There's no more debate. There's no more, let's talk about this, let's figure it out, let's see where you stand, let's share ideas, let's meet, in a place and break bread. And that shit is dead. It died with Charlie. I'm sorry to say, but that's the truth. If you are still holding on to that naive view, and I'm sorry to Charlie, I don't want to disgrace his memory, but unfortunately his naivete cost him. It's sad to say, because I don't think he was doing anything wrong. I really truly, as a matter of fact, the reason why I made this channel was because I agree with his method of sharing ideas, having debates, having conversations, getting to a common ground. Everything that he did, I agree with 100%. But look what it leads to. And that's why I stopped making videos. Not because I was worried about dying. Not because I was worried that what I was saying was wrong or it wasn't going to work. Well, honestly, the last part that I just said, it wasn't going to work. That's actually what it was. I felt like I wasn't going to be able to get people to understand what I was saying and to do something about it. I just saw like, and this is the difference between me and Charlie, right? And this is why I say he's a better person than me. He's a better person than me in terms of how he treats people and how he gives people the benefit of the doubt. I stopped giving people the benefit of the doubt a long time ago. But in my own ignorant naivete, and this is changing now because of what happened to him, but I wanted to help and save humanity. So I had the same basic foundation of what I wanted to do with what I was trying to do, the same mission that he had. We had very different approaches of how we were going to do it, or our paths of doing it, right? But we had the same idea. We wanted to change the world for the better. We wanted to help people. That's what me and Charlie both shared. That was 100% in alignment. Unfortunately, I, unlike him, lost faith in humans. And I said, people aren't going to learn. People aren't going to change. People aren't going to, they don't want to fix anything. They don't want to do anything. And sadly, look what happened. And you know what's worse than look what happened to Charlie? That people still haven't learned. People still haven't figured out what the real problems are. So I'm going to go back to what I was saying about being political and not political. And I started off talking about the left. I said the left and I didn't really go anywhere with that. But I'm going to go somewhere with it now. The left is evil. And again, there are two sides. And I realize this is something that's been it's been made abundantly clear over this last, I want to say, year, where I've barely made any videos. I can't do this shit by myself. I can't change the world by myself. No one man can do that. But you can contribute and you can try. And that's what Charlie was doing. He really believed that he could make a difference. And he was. That's what was scary to the evil ones that control the world. That's what was scary to the demons. They saw that this man was making a difference. And they were like, we can't have that. He's bringing people together. And he's making them put their differences aside. And he's showing them the error of their ways. And they're converting to the better side. His side. They didn't like that shit. And you guys may not understand this, but a lot of you do, because a lot of my viewers are smart. But there's technology in this world, using satellites and other technology, where they can read your mind. They can read your soul. They know your feelings. They know how you feel. They know how you think about something. They know everything you say. There are no secrets. So they can measure the entire world and they can see everything that's going on. When I say they, I'm talking about the ones that control the world, the demons. They see the whole fucking picture. They know everything about everyone. There's nothing on this planet that they don't know. So when they see somebody like Charlie come along, right? And this is the thing that surprises them. They don't expect people like Charlie to just come out of nowhere. Unless they create someone like Charlie. Because they can do that too, right? They can create a false prophet. But I don't think Charlie was a false prophet. I think he was a real prophet. That's what I think. But whatever. It doesn't matter whether he was a real prophet or not. The point is that what he was doing was having an effect. That's what matters. It's like what I tell people about when they tell me Trump is dead. There are a lot of people that think, oh, Trump is a clone. It's not the real Trump. Trump died a long time ago. And I hate that people bring that to my attention because it doesn't matter. And I'll explain why. Because there's somebody that looks like Trump, looks enough like Trump, acts enough like Trump, does pretty much the same kind of shit that the real Trump would do, that is still there in his place. So what's the point of talking about whether he's dead or not when there's somebody that's representing his ideologies and his beliefs and is acting in his place as if he was alive? It doesn't matter. That part is irrelevant. What matters is what are we dealing with and what's in front of us. Let's try to figure that part out. And that's another reason why it was difficult for me to make videos, because I like to talk about supernatural shit. I like to talk about aliens and demons and shit like that. But we can't even figure out this 3D political shit. So how the fuck are we going to go above? And I think that was one of the reasons why people started subbing from my channel, because they want to hear more supernatural alien shit. I had actually a couple of people tell me that. But unfortunately, and I can still talk about it, because I have talked about it. Even with what happened with Charlie Kirk, I said there are demons that are doing this shit. But we got to start from the bottom and work our way up. And this shit that happened with him was so basic and human in terms of, there was, you know, from what people can see with their eyes, it looks like a normal assassination. I don't want to say normal, but it doesn't seem like anything out of the ordinary until you start to really dig through it and see what's really going on. And I could tell you all my theories and all the things I think that really happened, right? But that's a whole nother video. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go live later, like I said. So I will be touching on my theories and things that I think are happening. What's really happening. But we got to figure out this 3D shit first. And that's why my main point of talking about politics and left versus right and shit like that is because I feel like there are two sides here right now, right? There are two clear sides. There's the left, which is evil, and the right, which is righteous right now, the good side, right? You have to choose one or the other. There's no middle ground. There's no in between. There's no talking about it. There's no keeping the temperature down. There's no, let's all come together, kumbaya, hold hands, let's sing a song, and it'll go away. No. That shit, no. We're not stopping. We're not turning the temperature down. Absolutely fucking not. The people on the right, which I'm going to align myself more with. And again, I'm not saying I'm going to become political or anything like that, or I'm going to go to rallies or start voting or anything like that. But I'm on the right side right now. And you know how they say the enemy of your enemy is your friend. Or the friend of your enemy is your enemy. That's how I'm looking at the situation. I'm aligning myself with the enemy of my enemy. That's how I see this. And again, morally speaking, I've always been more aligned with the right. But at the same time, now we're in a war. We're in a civil war, a spiritual war, World War III, World War 10,000. I don't give a fuck what number or label you want to call it or put on it. But it's happening. Right? And there are many levels and layers to this shit. So you have to figure out which side you're going to fight on. There's no more peace, no more holding hands, no more let's extend our hand to the other side and bring them over and let's comfort them and let's, you know, that's what Charlie was. Charlie represented that. And they killed him. What does that tell you? And you know what's worse than them killing him? They're celebrating it. They're enjoying it. They love it. What does that tell you? These people don't give a fuck about coming to the table and talking about shit. They don't care. They don't want to debate. They want to convert. They want you to submit. They want to destroy. The shit I saw today, I have a migraine headache. I've had a small headache since this whole situation happened because I've been watching so many videos and it's been so stressful. But what I saw today from the left gave me a migraine. I was like, holy shit, this is even worse than what I thought. I already knew these people were vile demons. But I'm going to tell you how I felt when I was watching these people on the left and the things they were saying about Charlie. I can only think violent thoughts. I'm not going to tell you what those thoughts were. But they were not good. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I did not think anything positive. I did not think about talking to these people. I did not think about holding hands and singing a song. I thought about the complete opposite of that. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is what needs to happen. Again, people talk about these situations and subjects and politics and all this and that. And no one ever has the solution. I'm going to give you guys the solution. This is what needs to happen. Because Clearly, people don't want to give up the politics. People don't want to give up the right versus left thing, right? That's why I said, I see what's happening here. I'm a realist. I can keep saying, oh, drop your politics. It's not, forget about people aren't listening to that. They want to be political. They want to be on the left and right. Okay, fine. So I'm going to be on the right. Let's play the left versus right game, okay? I'm going to be on the right. This is what the right needs to do, okay? Because I align more with their views. If you're on the right, you need to, this is the solution, exile and expunge these leftists and their ideologies from society. Period. No talking, no conversation, no understanding, no let's figure it out, let's have compassion. No. None of this religious shit of love thy neighbor. No. These people are demons. What did Jesus do with demons? He exorcised them and cast them out. That's what the fuck we're dealing with. You want to read your fucking Bible? You want to preach about the Bible? Read the part where Jesus dealt with demons. He exiled them and exorcised them. He didn't fucking sit there and say, let's talk about a demon. Let's figure it out. No. He said, get the fuck out of here. Go back to hell, Satan, whatever. He exorcised them. And guess what you're dealing with now? Pure human and demonic forces. What I really wanted to say was pure demons in human form. That's what I actually wanted to say. That's what you're dealing with. And that's just on the base level. Not to mention the puppeteers in the background who are really controlling these people. And I'm going to tell you motherfuckers again. Anyone that thinks that there are no demonic possessions or demons, you're out of your fucking mind. Because you're seeing it with your eyes. So you can deny it all the fuck you want. But it's happening in front of your fucking face. There are people that are controlled and possessed by demons. I know this to be the truth. I don't care if you believe me or if you think that sounds crazy. Because I think you're crazy because you haven't had an experience with a supernatural entity. So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you're trying to tell me about my experience because you haven't experienced anything. You're ignorant. Shut the fuck up. Don't try to tell me about what I know to be the truth. And there are many others that have had the experience. So again, there are demons in this world. And they control people. My best friend is controlled by the most powerful demon of all. That's how I know. I've tried to reason with this fucking demon. There is no reasoning. There is no logic. There is no understanding. There is no common ground. They want to kill you. That's what demons want to do. They want to annihilate you, destroy you, wipe you off the face of the earth, subjugate you, humiliate you, desecrate your grave. They will shit and piss on your grave. That's what these people will do. And they're telling you. That's the funny part about it. It's not like I'm making this shit up. They're telling you what they would and want to do to you. And you're sitting here acting like, let me take the higher ground. The higher ground's going to get your ass killed. That's what's going to happen. So again, what needs to happen? This is the solution. Expunge and exile these leftists. Make another Australia or another island somewhere where you can take all these people that think like this and have these mental problems, put them there and surround them by crocodiles and let them die there together. Let them have their little island or shit, maybe even California. Send everybody over to California that thinks like this and keep them over in California. Make their own little country over there. You know, California is already hell. It's already on fire. So send them motherfuckers over to hell where they belong. Keep them over there. Don't let them come over here. And we have a normal society over here where people don't kill each other or hurt each other or have all these weird leftist ideologies and views. Oh, well, let's turn your kid trans. Let's show them a drag queen hour, read them drag queen stories and all this bullshit. All this shit needs to fucking end. The reason why we're here now at this point and why Charlie's dead is because we've been extending our hand and trying to reason. Well, not me. I don't want to fucking put myself in that category. But you motherfuckers have been putting your hand out to these people, and these people have been snapping at your hand like a fucking piranha. And you're sitting up here, oh, let me touch the cute little piranha. Oh, come over here, piranha. Let me cuddle you, piranha. They want to bite your fucking hand off. They don't give a fuck about you. They will eat you alive. And you want to fucking take the high road. You want to preach the Bible and all this shit. That shit ain't going to get you anywhere. And I'm sorry to say this, but that's what Charlie was doing. And where did it get him? It got him killed. He was preaching the Bible and he was trying to be a good person and he got killed for it. So again, use what happened with Charlie as motivation to fix society. And the first thing you got to do is drop all this bullshit, suicidal empathy that you have for other people that don't give a fuck about you and want you dead, and deal with them accordingly. Exile them from society. Exile their ideas. You have to pinpoint, locate, track down all these people and what they think, how they think. And don't tell me you can't do it, because all their ideas and ideologies are all over social media everywhere. And you need to get them out of schools, get them out of fucking entertainment, get them out of, they should not have a fucking job. They need to be locked up in an insane asylum. That's what needs to happen. All these people need to be corralled and put somewhere where they can have their own little society and kill each other there. Because that's what's going to happen. They're going to start killing each other and eat each other alive. And before you know it, they'll all be gone. That's what needs to happen. But this tolerance bullshit you guys keep doing, it's not working. It's not helping anybody. It's getting people killed. Literally. And again, I have to emphasize this. They don't feel the same empathy and sympathy for you as you feel for them. So all you good people listening to this shit, you soft pussies that sit here and talk about let's preach the Bible and love thy neighbor and let's hold hands, you're the fucking problem. Because you're allowing this evil to exist in your society when you can exile them or exorcise them like Jesus did. You want to be like Jesus? You want to learn from Jesus? Get these demons out of society. That's what you got to do. There's no rationing or talking or let's figure it out. No, that shit's done. It's over. It died with Charlie, unfortunately, sadly. Now is the time for war and action. And again, the war doesn't have to mean people die. You don't have to kill people to fight a war. You can fight a war many ways. You can just literally gather them up, like what Trump has been doing with ICE, right? Do that shit. Send ICE or the FBI or the police or whatever. Gather all these people up that have these ideas and think like this. And put their asses in I don't know, find a state. Find a state. We have 50 of those motherfuckers. Alaska, Montana, I don't know. Send them somewhere where they can have their own little society away from everybody else. Send them to Canada. Send them to the Northwest Territories where there's all types of demonic creatures in the woods. They'll get along fine there because they'll be with their natural habitat and their natural people. They'll be surrounded by demons just like they are. Let them go up there. But regardless, the point I'm trying to make is they need to be removed from society. And anytime any of their ideas or beliefs or any of that shit that's detrimental to our society, American society, capitalist society, if it goes against that, it needs to be removed. You have to, this is what needs to happen. It's okay for people to, I'm not telling people they can't express their ideas, but those ideas should never be given any merit. They should not be celebrated. They should not be tolerated. They should not be given credit. If somebody says some stupid shit like kids can choose their gender, you say, you're a dumb motherfucker. No, they can't. Get the fuck out. What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? That's what you need to do. Ridicule them, clown them. You know the left, you know what the left says, right? They say words have consequences, right? They like to say this, right? Okay, so you say stupid shit, then people should treat you accordingly. Treat you like the dumb motherfucker that you are. That's what needs to happen. Period. And if they get violent, put them in jail. Put them in an insane asylum. Put them on a remote island in the middle of the fucking Pacific. I don't give a fuck. But get rid of these motherfuckers. Get them out of society. And until that happens, Because I'm going to tell you guys something. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I keep hearing people say we need to have more Charlie Kirks. They created 10 million more Charlie Kirks, blah, blah, blah. I get the idea behind that. And I get it's a positive sentiment that's being put out. Unfortunately, we don't need 10 million more Charlie Kirks. We need 10 million more me's, actually. People like me who are saying, fuck this shit. Get these motherfuckers out of society. No more debate. That's what needs to happen. That's what we need. And these people are already losing their jobs. What do you think they're going to do when they don't have any work? Look what they do when they do have jobs. Look what they do when they are employed and part of society. They act like fucking ravaging animals. So imagine now if they get, ostracized and put out of their job and all this and that, they get fired. You think they're going to calm down? You think they're going to start being good people? No, they're not. They're not going to learn. They're going to act crazier and crazier. So there may be 10 more million Charlie Kirks, but there's going to be 10 more million of those motherfuckers that shot Charlie Kirk too. That's what's going to happen. That's what I'm telling you guys. We're way beyond the point of peace and talking and debate. We're in a war now. It's a war. That shot around the world. It's a war. That's what sparked it. They were trying to spark this fire of civil war in the United States. They didn't have anything until now. They had little things here and there. What happened to Trump? What happened to the kids in the church? They had all these little incidents happening here and there. They were trying to get the right to radicalize and fight back because they wanted a civil war. And I'm not talking about necessarily the left, even though the left is part of it. But I'm talking about the demons that control the world. They wanted the right to fight the left and to become violent and radical. That's what they wanted. So they tried all these things. None of that shit worked. And again, I'm going to tell you, they measure your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, everything. They know everything about you. So they knew that by killing Charlie Kirk, it was going to do some shit like this. They've been plotting. They've been building this shit up. That's why Biden was the president. Because they needed somebody in office that was going to anger the right for years and years, but pushing all this leftist shit. Now, once he got out, they were like, now how are we going to, we got the recipe. We got all the ingredients for the cake. How do we, put the cake in the oven? How do we start this fire? Oh, okay. Charlie Kirk. It's all a plan by the deep state. It's all a plan by the evil ones. It's all bullshit. But again, it doesn't matter whether it's bullshit or not. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. This is what's happening. Now you need to do something about it. What are you going to do? You're going to sit on your hands and wait for a leftist to come and kill you? You're going to fight back. What are you going to do? That's it. No more talking, no more debating. Get these motherfuckers out of society. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to go live later in about an hour after this video drops. Maybe an hour and a half. I don't know, 9:30, between 9 and 10 o'clock. Maybe 10:30, 10 Eastern time. Look for me. I'll put out a post so you guys know that I'm going to go live. But with that being said, please follow my Patreon because I will be making videos there. I have a lot more shit to say. Like I said, I'm not stopping. I have way more shit to say. If you like, comment, subscribe, share where you can. Hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.